And on today's Unbiased Short Take, as promised on the last podcast, I am going to wrap up the Green Bay Packers season. This past season for the 2023 season, we are going to grade the Packers this season, give 3 goals that we think we need to improve the team for next year, and then give expectations for next season. So, I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers a flat A, from A plus to F. I'm giving the Packers an A for their performance this season. Yes, I know people should say, you should give them an A plus because they exceeded expectations. Yes, we did, but it's still title town. It's Green Bay. Championships are expected. So I think it would go against that philosophy to give them an A plus because we did not win the Super Bowl. However, with that, I'm not blind. We're an A, absolutely. This season went better than anyone could have expected. This season to me was more of a, evaluation season. And we took an evaluation season, went 9-8, made the wild card, made the playoffs, won a playoff game against the Cowboys, and then played really, really well in the divisional round against the Niners. So I'm going to move on to our expectations for next year. So the Packers get an A. Jordan Love out there this season threw for over 4,000 yards. He had over 30 touchdowns. So let's look at his official stats. 4,159 yards, 32 pass touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 96.1 QBR. He added a couple on touchdowns on the ground as well. So Jordan Love proved to be the franchise guy. I expect us to extend him this offseason, obviously. I expect us to be contending for a championship next year. I want to see us win double-digit wins in the regular season. We won 9 this year. I want to see us win 10 or more and compete a little harder for the NFC North and take back what rightfully is Green Bay's in the NFC North. So I want to see us do that and obviously compete for a Super Bowl. That's our expectations to me next year. Be a double-digit winning team, compete for the division, make the playoffs, compete for a Super Bowl. That's my expectation. So with that, how do we get there? So I have graded 3 things here that I think the Packers need to improve the team. One is address the secondary. Our secondary, we have a lot of question marks in the secondary, so let's move on to the free agency. Here are the Packers who are free agents this year. A.J. Dillon, tight end Jose DeGuara, tight end Tyler Davis, offensive lineman John Runyon, offensive lineman Josh Nyman, linebacker Eric Wilson, linebacker Kristen Welch, cornerback / kick returner Keyshawn Nixon, defensive back Corey Ballantyne, Darnell Savage, Jonathan Owens, Rudy Ford. You notice Rudy Ford's a free agent, Jonathan Owens is a free agent, Ballantyne's a free agent, Nixon's a free agent, Savage is a free agent. So we need to either obviously re-sign some of those guys. I would possibly say Owens, Ford, and obviously Nixon need re-signed. I would not re-sign Darnell Savage. And we need to address the secondary in the draft. I would like us to do that between rounds 1 and 4 and get some help in the secondary for the Packers. So you look at that because the Packers secondary, 12 of our last 13 first-round picks were on the defensive side of the ball. We fired Joe Barry, so that's an outstanding thing. Last year we were 17th in total defense. That's not good enough for 12 of the last 13 first-round picks to be on the defensive side of the ball, and to be 17th in defense is not good enough. We need a defensive coordinator who can address the secondary and maybe get some in free agency in the draft. So you look, and then address the offensive line. Because yes, the Packers have a top offensive line, always do, but I expect us to part with David Bakhtiari this offseason at some point. And you look, as I said, the free agent, John Runyon's a free agent. So we need some depth on the offensive line. I would like us to use the 25th pick to address the offensive line. I'm tired of putting the draft capital in the defense for lack of performance from them, so they need to work with what they have. The defense has plenty of talent on their side of the ball, so whoever gets the defensive coordinator job, I don't want us to spend a first-round pick on that side of the ball. We've always done that, and it always fails. So time to give Jordan Love some protection, things of that nature, I think, that then, or even possibly in free agency, to address some depth issues there. So then you look at number 1, this is the big one. If there's only one thing you take from this video, let it be this. Find a new kicker. Because Anders Carlson is the worst kicker in football, and we wasted a draft pick on him last year. He missed 13 total kicks. That led the NFL. He blew the divisional round against the Niners for us and choked it away by missing that kick. So, Anders Carlson's horrible. We need to find a new kicker. Not even necessarily in the draft. Free agency, undrafted free agents. Kickers, it's not a hard position to find. Find someone who won't miss 13 total kicks. Address that. Or fire Rich Bisaccia. One of the two. Because I'm tired of missing kicks. 13 total is unacceptable. So, those are the 3 things I think Green Bay needs to address in the offseason. So, 1, address secondary. Eric Stokes, injury-ridden, 9.90% snaps played this year. Less than 10% snaps played for Eric Stokes. Not good enough. Jair Alexander has an injury history, and we have a lot of defensive backs who are in the free agency this year. So, there's that, and then address the O-line, part with Bakhtiari. John Runyon's a free agent. We need to address that at some point. And then find a kicker. The Packers, they have plenty of receiver talent. Aaron Jones is under contract. I don't really think A.J. Dillon needs to be re-signed. We can find us number 2 running back. I think we have Eric Wilson on the roster who could very well take that spot over. So long as Aaron Jones is there, just find a number 2. Offensive side of the ball, we're good at tight end. We're good at quarterback. We're good at running back. We're good at receiver. So that's where I'm at with it. I think the Packers can compete for a Super Bowl this coming season, so long as we can address these 3 issues here. So I'm about to go check the AFC Championship game out. So that's all I have. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Like us on Facebook. Check out the Sports Fact of the Day. That's all I have. Packers are great for the season's an A. Successful season. Hopefully next year can be an A+. So, go Pack, go. Let's go Heat. Boiler up, baby. That's all I have. See you next week's podcast.